and chapter 18 said about 35 to 45 times, which means if it's recorded that many times, it probably happened a lot more in reality. First time it's said is in chapter 3, verse 14. God said to Moses. Verse 15, God also said to Moses. Chapter 4:21, the Lord said to Moses. Chapter 6, verse 1, then the Lord said to Moses. Chapter 6, verse 2, God also said to Moses. Verse 10, then the Lord said to Moses. Chapter 7, verse 1, then the Lord said to Moses. Are you getting it? Chapter 7, verse 8, then the Lord said to Moses. Verse 14, then the Lord said to Moses. 19, the Lord said to Moses. They're having a conversation. They're having an intimate relationship. Chapter 8, verse 5, then the Lord said to Moses. Verse 16, then the Lord said to Moses. Verse 20, chapter 9, verse 1, verse 6, verse 13, verse 22, then the Lord said to Moses. Verse 10, then the Lord said, chapter 10, verse 1, the Lord said to Moses. Verse 12, do you get it? Do you get this aspect, this idea that Moses doesn't know what he's doing at all? There's never been a book. He can't go read the Old Testament to figure out what's going to happen next. He does what he's supposed to do. God says, throw the stick on the ground, and it's going to become a snake. He does it. Why? Because the Lord said it to him. Didn't ask questions. So what does this really mean theologically if I do this? What does this mean, the implications of me throwing the stick? He doesn't do it. God says, throw the stick on the ground. He throws it on the ground. And then, which I think is even more impressive, he says, pick it up. Picks it up, goes back to a stick. Why? Because God said it to him. And initially, when you read about Moses, and we know all about what he did for God, we know all about how he served God. But here's how it all starts. If you want to serve God, you must first find him. And you must listen to him. And you must not quote everything that he asks or puts on your heart through the Spirit. Instead, he wants to know, if I just say it, will you do it? Is that enough? Or do you need to have confirmation from like every other person besides me? Can I just ask for you to do these things? That's just the lines that are there that the Lord said to Moses. And when you think about this in Hebrew, here's the aspect. I want you to see it because the way it's written in Hebrew, it has this component of Moses is standing there, and literally like it's as if God comes close to his ear and he speaks to him intimately, and he tells him the things that he wants him to do. And we think, man, how fortunate was Moses, right? I mean, if we had that going on a daily basis, if we would wake up, be brushing our teeth, and God says, I want you to go down here today, fantastic. How do you know he doesn't?